वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् शृण्वतं स्वकथा पुण्यात् शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयान्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरेत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, verses 31 and 32. Verse 31. य इदं सुमहत् पुण्यं श्रद्धया वहिता पठेत् श्रावयेत् शृणुयाद्वापि स प्रथो पदवीम् ईयात्. Synonyms. Ya, anyone, idam, this, sumahat, very great, punyam, pious, shraddhaya, with great faith, avahit, avahita, with great attention, pathet, reads, shravayet, explains, shrunuyat, hears, va, or, api, certainly, sa, that person, pratho, of King Prithu, padavim, situation, iyat, attains. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Prithu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself or helps others to hear of them, is certain to attain the very planet which Maharaj Prithu attained. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuntha planets, back to Godhead. Purport. In the execution of devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu is especially stressed. This means that bhakti or devotional service begins by hearing and chanting about Vishnu. When we speak of Vishnu, we also refer to that which relates to Vishnu. In the Shiva Puran, Lord Shiva recommends Vishnu worship to be the topmost worship, and that better than Vishnu worship is worship of the Vaishnava or anything that is related to Vishnu. The fact is explained herein that hearing and chanting about a Vaishnava is as good as hearing and chanting about Vishnu. For Maitreya has explained that anyone who hears about Prithu Maharaj with attention also attains the planet which Maharaj Prithu attained. There is no duality between Vishnu and the Vaishnava, and this is called Advaya Gnana. A Vaishnava is as important as Vishnu, and therefore Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote in his Gurvashtaka, साक्षात्तरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैरुक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभुर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and is followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari. The Supreme Vaishnava is the spiritual master, and he is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant the names of the gopis. Some of the Lord's students tried to advise him to chant the name of Krishna instead. But upon hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry with his students. The controversy on this subject reached a point that after this incident, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas because he was not taken very seriously in his grihastha. The point is that since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted the names of the gopis, worship of the gopis or the devotees of the Lord is as good as devotional service rendered directly to the Lord. It is also stated by the Lord Himself that devotional service to His devotees is better than service offered directly to Him. Sometimes the Sahajiya class of devotees are interested only in Krishna's personal pastimes, to the exclusion of the activities of the devotees. This type of devotee is not on a very high level. One who sees the devotee and the Lord on the same level has further progressed. Verse 32. ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चस्वी राजन्यो जगतीपति वैश्य पठन् विटपति स्याच्छूद्र सतमातामियात्. Synonyms: Brahmana, the Brahmanas; Brahma Varchasvi, one who has attained the power of spiritual success; Rajanya, the royal order; Jagatipati, the king of the world; Vaishya, the mercantile class of man; Pathan, by reading; Vitapati, becomes master of animals; Shyat, becomes; Shudra, the laborer class of man; Satama Tam, the position of a great devotee; Iyat, attains. Translation: If one of the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj If one hears of the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj and is a Brahmana, he becomes perfectly qualified with Brahminical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he is a Vaishya, he becomes a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Shudra, he becomes the topmost devotee. Purport: in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that one should become a devotee regardless of one's condition, whether one is without desire, akama, or with desire, sakama, or whether one desires liberation, mokshakama. He is advised to worship the Supreme Lord and execute devotional service unto Him. By so doing, one attains all perfection in any field of life. The process of devotional service, especially hearing and chanting, is so powerful that it can bring a person to the perfectional stage. In this verse, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are mentioned. But here it should be understood that the reference is to the Brahmana who is born in a Brahminical family, the Kshatriya who is born in a Kshatriya family, the Vaishya who is born in a Vaishya family, and the Shudra who is born in a Shudra family. But whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, he can attain perfection simply by hearing and chanting. Namo नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself, and please forgive me for any shortcomings. I have taken notes from a lecture by His Holiness Romabad Swami Maharaj and His Grace Purijan Prabhu. Here we have almost completed the pastime and activities of Prithu Maharaj, who is Shaktya Avesh avatar of the Lord. The Shakti potency of the Lord has empowered him to be the perfect ruler. Practically speaking, no one can do anything in this world unless there is some empowerment by Krishna. As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita 7.11, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tar Pravartana. No one can even preach unless Krishna's Shakti is acting through him. Prithu Maharaj, by his example, showed us how this world should be ruled. He instructed life has its purpose to attain full development of our consciousness and advance in spiritual life and go back to Godhead. Now onwards, from verses 31 to 39 are called Shruti Fal, means the fruits of hearing about Prithu Maharaj. How potent is hearing or describing about Prithu Maharaj is? Here, Maitreya Rishi is offering the best of honors to Prithu Maharaj by addressing him as Bhagavan. Because Prithu Maharaj is exhibiting the Lord's ruling potency, he is acting as the devotee of the Lord along with exhibiting magnanimous power of the Supreme Lord for the welfare of his subjects. There are places in the Bhagavatam where, other than the personality of Godhead, a devotee of the Lord is addressed as Bhagavan. However, commonly the nomenclature Bhagavan is appropriate only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is, either for Krishna or the direct expansions of Krishna. But we do have a different nomenclature for Lord of the Heart, who is direct expansion of personality of Godhead. Although he is the same tattva, we identify him as Paramatma, distinct from Bhagavan. Whereas in Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes Narad Muni or Shiva, and here Prithu Maharaj is addressed as Bhagavan. That is because of non duality between Lord and his devotees. As mentioned in the purport, it's called Advaya Gnan, that is non difference. A relationship of non difference between Shuddha Vaishnava and Vishnu. One should respect a spiritual master as good as God. Not that the spiritual master is God, but is non-dual relationship between one who is purely connected to the personality of Godhead and the personality of Godhead. One is acting as the instrument of the other, but their quality is the same. It's intimately tied in with the destination of Prithu Maharaj by going back to Godhead. One who becomes attached to the Supreme Lord becomes in quality like the Supreme Lord. Similarly, one who becomes attached to someone who is attached to the Supreme Lord also becomes in quality like the Supreme Lord and goes back to the same spiritual abode. For example, when iron is placed in fire, it becomes hotter and hotter and then red hot. When that iron is taken out of fire and touched to something, that iron acts just like fire. Iron, which was in one quality, but by contact of fire, has taken all qualities of fire, and there is no difference. Similarly, a Vaishnava, by always being in contact with the Lord, takes on the qualities of the Lord, and then Krishna distributes his mercy through such Vaishnavas. In that sense, serving a Vaishnava is even better. The emphasis in these verses is particularly appreciating Prithu Maharaj in his capacity as an intimate pure Vaishnava, one who has attained the realm of Vaikuntha, and so he is respected. As mentioned in the purport, Lord Shiva says that best of all is the worship of Vishnu, and better than the best is the worship of a Vaishnava. That's more dear to Krishna than worship of him. Whatever we have at our disposal should be used in the service of Vaishnavas. One who lives by that teaching becomes pleasing to the personality of Godhead. In the next verse also, there is more description of Shrutifal. One can get power, prestige, fame, whatever one desires, just by hearing about the Lord and his devotees like Prithu Maharaj. Yet these things are insignificant. What is the best thing that one can desire? When someone hear about such Vaishnavas, one will lose desire for temporary things. Instead, we get a wonderful desire in heart that I want to be a devotee of Krishna. I want to give my heart to Krishna. I will stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam